Hello trophy hunters, welcome to the channel and welcome to my new video. I want to talk about the struggle of earning trophies and all the different things we have to go through to get that elusive platinum at the end. I genuinely enjoy trophy hunting, it's one of my favourite hobbies. It's an exciting and rewarding pursuit. It's a pursuit worth pursuing, but it comes with its fair share of struggles for sure. So here are some common ones that I think we have all gone through at some point. This is a big one for me, the time commitment. Achieving a platinum normally means you get to see all facets of the game, the good and the bad. Challenges, difficulties, different objectives, grinding out whatever it wants you to, and of course the dreaded collectibles. Maybe you need the time to get better at the game to overcome the challenges. But whatever the case, real life is also time consuming. Sometimes I can be so tired after work that all I can manage to do is something like mashing square in Dynasty Warriors. Open world games can be hundreds of hours. Story-driven action games might demand multiple playthroughs. Online games want you to reach online level 100. Sometimes the time-consuming trophies can be a bit too much, and not respective of your time. There are even trophies that are like, play X amount of hours. That's just insane to me. Looking up a list before committing to a game helps. You'll see these types of trophies are a mile away, and then you can make an informed decision on whether you want to play it or not. Directly linked to the time commitment is the repetition and grinding that a lot of trophy lists can have. It can drain the enjoyment from any game, especially if the gameplay isn't engaging or varied enough to be entertaining for the length of the task at hand. So many trophy lists contain this. It's almost a natural part of trophy hunting, one you just kinda have to accept. Craft 8,000 collectibles, okay, that's normal. Defeat 10,000 enemies in online multiplayer. Reach max level with every playable character. It's just a tad excessive, isn't it? There comes a point where I feel I'm done with the game, but the trophy list isn't done with me. That's deep as hell. You could probably pinpoint the moment in trophy lists where the player just feels done with it, but has to keep going because of the platinum, of course. This happened to me recently, and not the best game. In Aliens Colonial Marines, I was level 40 and needed level 60 for a gold trophy. I was done with everything else, and despite being, what the game was, it was Aliens Colonial Marines, I was happy with the trophy journey so far. And then I had to do the final level 15 times in a row, because it was the most efficient XP gain. This is what I mean, trophy lists that seem to artificially extend the natural progression to, I don't know, maybe pad out the length of it. I just know I often look at trophies and their requirements and I think, what would the harm have been if they halved that requirement? I wanted to highlight and talk about difficulty spikes in trophies. These usually start in games after first completion, maybe in a new game difficulty, maybe it's a specific challenge. This would apply to trophies that encourage no death runs and speed runs, things like that. I have to admit, I am a massive fan of a good speedrun trophy. I bet everyone can think of a game where it's been too difficult to progress, an obvious answer being any boss on the Soulsborne series. Getting past these trophy obstacles can often bleed into the burnout and time commitment struggles. I find accepting your limits is the way to overcome. If it's a realistic goal to beat this, then go for it. But try to balance the enjoyment of the repeated attempts with the progress you can hopefully see and measure. For example, he's at half health now. When I died this time, before I barely touched him and he one-shot me. That's progress. That is progress you can measure. Every death or attempt at these types of trophy is a learning experience. Why did I die there? What could I have done differently? Have I the right equipment? Is there a different tactic I can try? We all get tilted. I especially get tilted. But I know there are many ways to overcome challenge if you have the time, patience, and the right attitude. Which I think is much better advice than get good. But yeah, you should probably get good as well. Another painful aspect of trophy hunting, online multiplayer requirements. I love a good multiplayer. I'm competitive in nature and enjoy the tougher challenge of taking on a real player. But some online trophies are abysmal. They can easily bleed into the time commitment and the grind struggles. We're usually tasked to play an insane amount of games, gain a crazy amount of kills, or reach a dizzying height of a player level. And then we're expected to earn all this before the server shut down or before the player base dwindles. Online trophies are a big struggle. A recent example, Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt, which is an excellent game. I think it deserved a lot more love than it got. The player base, however, dwindled, and by the time I came back for the Platinum, the lobbies and the matches were mostly full of bots. The majority of players I was facing were bots. This took away a lot of the moment-to-moment enjoyment of the gameplay for me. Worse still, we needed a level 50 player level, which you earn at a set rate. Now this meant, regardless of how well you did in the match, you would earn the same amount of XP towards this universal player level. People online very quickly worked out you could start a game, leave the moment you spawn, and still earn the set XP for this trophy. I decided not to make a video on Vampire because of this. You know, I like to do a nice kind of epic build up to the last trophy and the platinum I needed. Maybe it would be good in subverting expectation, but honestly, I was just joining games and leaving games, joining games and leaving. It was not fun. The absolute worst thing about this trophy is its several struggles in one. It's repetitive, a grind, time consuming, and it's bloody online. So guys, get your online trophies done as quick as you can. Missables, there's a reason these are the first thing I check when looking at a trophy guide. There's almost nothing worse than missing that 127th treasure chest in the 40-second dungeon 70 hours into the game, and then not popping the get all treasure chest trophy during the end credits. Soul crushing. Almost deserves its own list. If you guys enjoy misery, I'll be happy to make it. So this can stem from collectibles more often than not, but really can come from any trophy type. NPC actions, conversations, miscellaneous trophies in areas you can only visit once, optional bosses or dungeons. It really is a big variety of missable. Anything can be missable in the context. Thank God for chapter select is all I can say. We salute you. Every game should have chapter select and stat progress tracking and all that good stuff. Trophy hunters might feel compelled to play games they don't enjoy solely to earn trophies. That's quite a statement. Oh boy, who has games on their list that they are ashamed of having played just to get the platinum? I have my fair share, and one day I'm definitely going to show everyone Orc Slayer in its full glory. It's truly the worst game I've ever played. It got me a platinum, but I can never rid myself of the shame and regret. I imagine most shovelware or pay to platinum cheaper games would fall under this category. People should play what they want and for the reasons they want to. I'm not here to judge that. I'm solely talking from a personal standpoint. But I tried playing a game just for a platinum and I didn't like the way it made me feel. I'm not going to play Iron Mayo, I'm not going to play Catgirl vs the Lizards Platinum Edition for 79 pence. After a game like Orc Slayer, I'm just done with those kind of games. I would hide it, but it is a good reminder of what I like to do with my trophy list now. Seriously, do not play Orc Slayer. This last point is so interesting to me. Focusing on trophies might lead you to play the game in a way that's disconnected from the intended experience. So this would involve using guides extensively or prioritizing tasks over immersion. I tend to avoid this struggle, initially at least. My first playthrough of a game will be normal. It'll be a blind playthrough. I don't look anything spoilery up. I will look at the list initially to decide if I want to play the game, see if there's any major issues. So even that act in itself could be a disconnect from the intended experience, because I'm letting a list affect whether I will even play the game or not. That's kind of a base level thing. But once I've started playing it and I'm doing a normal playthrough, I don't look up a guide, I don't look up missables until I've completed the game, until I see the credits roll. Then the disconnect happens from the intended experience. I will use one gun for the whole of a Dead Space playthrough just to get the trophy. Would I do that if I was playing it normally? God no. I want to use the flamethrower, I want to use the pulse rifle, I want to shoot as many things with different weapons as possible. But that trophy I'm talking about shoehorns you into one weapon to use for the whole playthrough. It's a challenge. And Resident Evil also has a lot of disconnect from the intended experience. No healing runs, speed runs, all these kind of fall under that same category. It's really interesting to think about. My way of doing a normal playthrough first and then doing the trophies is not the most efficient way to earn platinums, I know that. There's people out there who want to platinum every game first, and to do that you have to look up the guide instantly. You have to spoil everything and make sure you don't miss something, and that's to avoid a second playthrough, which makes sense to me. I'm not judging people who do that, because time is the most precious thing we have. So if you're saving time to play more games, then that's great, that's all good. I just personally wouldn't want to fight a boss and then check a guide and then find that I have to shoot his left arm off first or something bizarre to earn a trophy that would otherwise be missable. I'd want to do that boss fight how I would normally do it anyway. I would probably just shoot him in the head until he dies. And then when I find out I have to do a second playthrough, that's cool. I've got my initial original experience out of the way, and now I'm trophy hunting. So maybe I should change my name a bit, I don't know. Mode 47, play normal, then trophy hunter. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it. Saying all of this, it's important to strike a balance between trophy hunting and the enjoyment of gaming itself. Set realistic goals for yourself. Prioritize games you genuinely enjoy, and most importantly, remember that trophies are a fun addition to gaming and not a measure of your overall worth as a gamer. And with all that said, trophy hunters, I wish you happy hunting, and I'll catch you next time.